Hello, everybody in YouTube land. I'm John, and I'm back with another video on my channel, Musings of a Marine. Hope you enjoy this video. Thanks to the new subscribers that I've gotten over the last few days. Appreciate that much. My video about loving the Philippines because of the Catholicism that is dominant over there has gained many views and continues to do so. So I appreciate that, and I'm glad it's made an impact and people have enjoyed the video. So not here to talk about that, though. That was one of the reasons, obviously, why I love going to the Philippines. But I'm here to talk about another reason why I enjoy going to Iloilo so much. And it has nothing to do with religion or the sites or anything. It has to do with my own personal feelings. And I want to start this video off by saying that, you know, there are other YouTube vloggers who talk about the Philippines, and I enjoy watching their videos, which encouraged me to keep doing this one. And one of the people that I subscribe to is this young, attractive Filipina lady who calls herself the Filipina P. And so what I'm about to say in this video may sound a little egotistical, but I can tell you this: Filipina P would agree with me 100% on what I'm going to be saying, because she touched on a video, you know, and on this subject, and said the same thing that I'm going to say, only for not as long of a length, but nonetheless, she understands. And so I'm going to call this video, you know, I love to go to Iloilo because, quite frankly, it's a big ego trip for me too. Now let me explain why, and I'm going to say that everything I'm going to say in this video, I want you to understand something. It's not to belittle Filipinos in any way, shape, or form. I've said it before and I'll say it again. As a whole, from all my travels in the U.S. and then in the Philippines, which people are nicer in general as a whole and more nurturing? The Filipinos win hands down. It's not even close. Now, we say here in the U.S. there's a thing called Southern hospitality. If you go in the southern states in the U.S., people are more friendly and accommodating. And from personal experience, I found that to be rather true. However, where I live in the Detroit area, not so much. And we do have a lot of wealthy people in the suburbs here who are quite egotistical and not very friendly. You know, if I could say only one downside to Filipino people is they're a little bit too shy and non-confrontational, and they don't really want to, you know, they go out of their way to avoid, you know, any disputes or something like that and settle for whatever is given to them. And us Americans, we're spoiled. We don't go for that. So I'm going to mention that a little bit in this video, but here's the thing. And, you know, Filipina P said in her video, and the thing that she touched on was, you know, she's talking about men going to the Philippines to find, you know, the love of their life. And she mentions, you know, how cool is it for an older American guy like myself, though I'm younger than a lot of, you know, the Western people who go over there to find Filipino brides. I'm only 61, and you got guys over there much older than me looking for a young Filipino bride, which I never did. My wife's 2 years older than I am. But anyway, she mentions about, you know, how nice it makes an older man feel if he can walk down the street in the Philippines with this young lady as his wife, who's very attractive. And here he is, this old dude pushing 70 years old and looking kind of wrinkled and everything, and overweight and everything like that. And yet he could still find a very pretty woman to be with and want to be his girlfriend and or wife. So that's true, and I've seen it, and I walk down the streets there in Iloilo and any of the other places that we visited over there, and yes, I do see a lot of young, pretty Filipinos. And I can remember back, I believe it was in I think it was New Year's Day 2019. We were over there for the wake of my mother-in-law, and we're having fun in this water park, and this young lady who was in the swimming pool, we weren't in the water park, the swimming pool there, and this young lady asked me if I was married. Now let me tell you something, here in the United States, anywhere I've ever been, no cute young lady has ever asked me if I was married, especially if I'm 40 years older than they are. American women aren't really interested in that unless you're filthy rich, which I'm not. So that's just one example of it. But, it's funny that, how cool is it that, she would even ask. And, who knows why? Maybe, she wanted to get out of there. Maybe because she thought I had money, whatever. But, that is one example there. And another example is, and this is probably the biggest one, and some people may not feel comfortable with this, but I will tell you this. There's not a lot of Westerners in Iloilo compared to other cities like Cebu or Dumaguete and certainly Metro Manila area. Iloilo, not so much. I rarely see any white people in that city. And you want to know something? I love it because it makes me stand out in the crowd. And I enjoy the attention. Sometimes I get stared at. Sometimes people give me a look that maybe not be so pleasant. I don't care what they think. I'm over there to visit my wife's family and see the sights. I'm not there, to try and impress anybody or find a mate or anything like that. So who cares what they think? But the fact of the matter is that I get the attention. Yeah, that does feed the ego. I'm not going to deny that. I've talked about it before. When every time we go into a store in the mall and the security guard says hi to me and ignores my wife and her family, the extra special attention that it seems that I get in the stores, particularly in the SM City store itself, where you always have these sales clerks there more than willing to help you. And I mentioned the one time where I literally had 5 pretty ladies all standing around with me, helping me pick out a t-shirt. It just doesn't happen in the U.S. and certainly not for a 61-year-old guy who, I never considered myself to be much of a catch. So, imagine that, getting all that attention. And, it does feed the ego, and it does make you feel better. I'm almost 5'10", just slightly less than 5'10", and I walk around the city in Iloilo, and I'm taller than probably 85 to 90% of the people in the city. And for some Filipinos, I've seen it where they've been a little intimidated by me, and they shouldn't be, because I'm a very friendly, outgoing person. I love Iloilo and I love Filipino people, and I wish they didn't feel that way, but they do, because I'm taller and I'm a foreigner and they don't know what to expect. But it is it feeds the ego too. I always wish that I would have been a tall person, over 6 feet, something like that, and it never happened, even though I am the tallest person in my family, and as tall as anybody. I'm as tall as my nephew Michael and taller than everyone else in my wife's family. So him and I are definitely, when you see pictures of us, the 2 tallest people in the picture. So that's kind of neat. And, I get to be the bigger guy, physically than what people are used to seeing over there. And I enjoy it. And then there's the one most obvious one, and why I get special treatment at the stores, and why people might look at me a little bit differently. A lot of Filipinos don't have much, and it's sad. And when they see a Westerner like me, coming out of a condo there in Mega World, and I don't dress particularly fancy or anything, but my clothes are clean and they're not torn or anything like that. And they know that compared to them, I'm wealthy. And who doesn't dream of that? Let's be honest. Who doesn't dream of being a good-looking, tall, handsome guy, with wealth? Every male grows up wishing that they could be that and have that status. And over in the Philippines, it seems that I'm certainly more of a catch than I would ever be here in the Detroit area. It's just a fact, and I'm not bragging about it, but it is what it is. Over there, I could live very, very comfortably. My wife and I, on $3,000 a month, we would be upper middle class over there and live very comfortably on that income. And if we retire over there, that is certainly something we will have no problem with, is money. But and Filipino people can't say that. But $3,000 a month in the United States, you're not going to be able to do much of anything. You'll be able to get by, but not a whole lot more than that. And I'm just using that number as an example, 3,000. I don't know exactly, what the retirement income will be when we decide to finally quit working. But anyways, over there, $3,000 a month goes a long way and allows you to afford a lot of things, like traveling, like we did to Bohol when we were there over a year ago, and go on other trips. I have kind of a bucket list of places I want to see: Tagaytay, Siquijor, actually spend some time in Cebu next time we go there and see the sights. Things like that. Go to Baguio again, because it's changed so much from when I was there in 1985. And, and Diana's never been there, so I'd like, her to see the sights too. And it would be a great chance to reminisce about my time there, and then see all the new developments that weren't there when I was there that long ago. I guess it was over 30 years ago. Like 39 years ago. I'm sure the city's changed considerably over that time period. So anyways, that was one of the big things that I wanted to talk about today. And thank you for tuning in and listening. But yeah, it is an ego trip for me to go over there, because I'm taller than almost everybody. I'm considered wealthy compared to most everybody, and I do get special treatment over there for those reasons. Be it intimidating factor, the wealth factor, people who don't know that I'm married look at me and say, boy, if you hooked up with this guy, maybe I could, he'd take me to the States. All the, those thoughts go through Filipinos' heads over there. And when you have, pretty ladies helping you out, and it just seems to me like everywhere you go and every store you go, most of the young ladies who work there are rather attractive. So I'll tell you what, and maybe that's on purpose. Maybe they do that, when they hire the cashiers and the sales clerks and the people to help you out in the mall. But I also think it's just because Filipino women are very pretty in general, and most of them are slim and very, very attractive. So that has a lot to do with it too. And even though I'm married and I'm not going to hook up with any of these ladies, doesn't mean I don't enjoy looking and, you know, having them wait on me. It's very, very flattering, I must say. So anyways, that's all I really wanted to talk to everybody about and just give my feedback on that. I just get treated so wonderfully over there, and it makes me feel like a king. I can remember in 1985 being over there in Angeles City, and there was, you know, I mentioned it before, all these pretty women around there on Fields Avenue, and so many of them were paying attention to me and calling out my name, you know, not my name John, but you know, whatever they wanted to call me. And I mean, who doesn't like attention? Who doesn't like being made to feel a little bit special? And I think we all can use that in our lives. I try to be very friendly with people and very friendly and nice to everybody I meet over in Iloilo, because I want them to know that I like being over there a lot, and I really want to try retiring over there, and I really, really like the people over there. And they make me feel special, and anything I can say or do to make them feel special, I enjoy doing that as well. I think that's important. I think people need that in their lives. You know, you matter. You know, it's easy to, you know, just to say, well, you know, God loves you, and so, you know, you don't have to feel, you know, down, you know, thinking that nobody cares about you. But, you know, we need affirmation from our fellow human beings. And it just seems like I get that so much more over there for whatever reason. I don't care if it's because of my height or my financial status or whatever. The very fact is that when you're made to feel special, when you're made to feel good by the kindness of others, you know, who wouldn't want to live in an environment like that, right? So that is the other reason why, I mentioned Catholicism. Obviously, I love my wife's family. They're great people, and they treat me awesome. But this is another reason why I like going to Iloilo so much. And it took me quite a while. Probably it wasn't until like, you know, the last 6 months that I finally realized that man, you know, I'm really you walk around like feeling like a king over there, and I love it. I'm not going to deny it. So anyways, that's all I got to say. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the new followers and everybody viewing my videos. Of course, I'm a United States Marine veteran. The Marine Corps birthday is in 6 days, so happy birthday to the United States Marines. Semper Fi. God bless everyone, and take care.